Alright, it's been a couple days since I made a video, and some of you are already saying, what's up? I've been making preforms and I've been putting together stuff for me to nap. Stuff like this, right? So I still nap this one on video. This is the chert that I got that's kind of reddish. Very rare stuff as far as I know. I've seen reddish chert before, but only in small pieces, nothing this big. Anyway, I gotta finish that on video eventually. I gotta do this one on video. This is low quality raw. It's like a quartzite. I'm not looking forward to this one. Alright. This is a glass bottle bottom. This is an old bottle, and I think it was like what they call a growler jug. This is an old bottle also. I thought it was black glass, but I think it's like smoky brownish glass. Anyway, I got a bunch of this stuff. This is mahogany obsidian, but it's a little bit brownish. Anyway, let's see what else. I don't know. What am I going to work on in this video? I don't really feel like working on anything. Oh yeah, it's a high quality. I got a bunch of high quality amoeba that I got from my friend Sal. Amoeba chert. And this is a heat treat. Anyway, look at all that. I got to nap all that. Alright, so not on this video, but you know, eventually. And I made some preforms earlier. Oh yeah, and I gotta do a tempered glass video. I did write this down on my other list. I did write this down on my other list, my real list on my phone. Anyway, what else I got? Oh, it's all behind me. My shoulder's acting up again because I've been reaching too much behind me. Moving stuff around. I have a bad habit of not twisting myself around properly and just using my shoulder to do all the lifting. So my right shoulder is acting up. Anyway, I gotta put those where I can see them. I'm gonna work on this one. Yeah. This one looks like it's not going to give me too much trouble. What am I going to make out of it? Hopefully something good. I got a piece of chert in my thumb earlier. Okay. Piece of heat treat. It was stuck in there. I had to dig it out. Yeah, I don't like digging them out. Alright, so what else? It's the storm is blowing in. We've got a storm coming up. There's already about a half inch of sleet and snow on the ground here. We didn't get hit with most of it, and we're not going to get hit with most of it where I am. But it is starting to come down pretty good right now. After the sun went down, the temperature dropped about 10 degrees, and it changed from rain to sleet, and it started coming down heavier. But it looks like where we are in southeast Vermont, we're not going to get too much of the bad stuff. So we're okay. And besides, I got supplies. I stocked up. I stocked up on Monday. What's today? Wednesday? I don't even know. I don't have any sense of time. Okay. I'm not even going to use this one, the steel rod. Oh yeah, I was looking at more steel rods today at the hardware store. This is weldable steel. This is a 3/8 inch rod. But yeah, I used to call it welding rods, but it's not welding rods. I should know better than that. It's weldable steel rods. Weldable. not welding. Just in case you're wondering. Things like that. I can remember things like that. I just can't remember what day it is. Yeah. It's weird. Anyway, this is a 5/8 aluminum rod and 3/8 steel rod. I use these primarily now, not because they work excellently great and fantastically wonderful compared to everything else. I use these because they're easy. What works best? Two things work best, and it's a no-brainer. High grade copper, and high grade antler. Yes, I said antler. And I mentioned in another video that I might have Antlerphobia. Yeah. Well, someone looked it up. Well, not someone. Lots of you guys looked it up, and you gave me all kinds of names of what it means to be afraid of antler, or what the names are. There's actually terminology. Yeah. So they all made sense. All these phobias about antlers and bones and deer and stuff. I settled on one. Yeah. I like one of those. It's actually the fear of deer, primarily red deer, but it's called Elafiphobia. Elafiphobia. What is Elafiphobia? Elafino. That's how I'm gonna remember it, because it's funny. You know, back in the old days when Sesame Street was funny. Or when the Muppet Show, I should say the Muppet Show. You know, there was a joke. What do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino? Elafino. Alright? Well, Elafiphobia reminds me of that. So I'm sticking with it. Antlerphobia is Elafiphobia. Yeah, on this channel. That's what we're going to call it. And I often talk about antler people. What's the antler people? It's a joke that I have, or that I use to describe people who are obsessive about using antler. And they take a moral position on it, as if it's the quote unquote right way to nap, or the best way, or the only way, or the ancestral. Somehow it's like the holy ancestral way, as if it's just some kind of moral high ground. Yeah, it's the ancestral way, but you don't need to turn it into a moral way to nap. You know. Anyway, I don't like antler people who are like that, who think they have some kind of moral high ground. So I have Elafiphobia. Yep. What is Elafiphobia? Elafino. Look it up. It's an actual thing. Yeah. It is an actual thing. I would have never known unless that subject came up. Yep. The fear of deer. In this case, it's red deer. But anyway, it's funny. It's funny. I think so. And you think so too, right? Because you're very agreeable. Yeah. So nice to talk to myself on video in the middle of a storm with the space heater on in the background. And the neighbor's probably listening because they're right there. The neighbors here in Vermont are much closer to me than the neighbors in Texas. At least in Texas, you got to be outside doing a barbecue, whatever, to hear each other. But here, I can be inside my shop, and the neighbor can be inside his house or her house, and we could hear each other. Hear. I can hear them if they have an argument, and they might be able to hear me when I'm tapping on this stuff. Well, in fact, I do know that they can hear my tap. Tap, tap, tap. So I can't be doing this too late at night. Anyway. What have I been doing? I've been slacking for 2 days. Yeah. I've been slacking. You already know the answer to the question. No, I've been thinking about more ways or more reasons you're not getting long flakes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why are you not getting flakes like this? Yeah. Why? I don't know. There's sometimes I have no idea why you're not doing it. You're doing everything right. I watch you. I've seen guys at at Knappings doing their Flintknapping. And I don't know why they're not getting long flakes. They're doing everything right. I sit there and I watch and I said, I don't know what to tell you, dude. You're doing everything right. Just do it more, I guess. Keep doing it till you get different results. That's all I can tell you. In some cases, I don't know. There's a mystery. And you'll have to figure it out on your own. You'll have an aha moment of some sort that will seem like you've already been doing it when you haven't. Or you've been doing it, but it was just not quite tweaked in the right way. Like the edge. Well, some guys need to have, I guess, exactly the right angle every single time. Every time. Or it messes them up. Me, I never have the same angle or the same dullness or the same shape of the platforms every time I hit. I always hit something different. And I never have the same situation over and over again. And I never create the same situation. I'm opportunistic. If it looks okay, I have a range of looking okay. Sometimes it looks pretty bad, but I'll still hit it. Sometimes it looks excellent. And I'll be very confident in hitting it. Sometimes it looks bad and I'm not that confident, but I still do it. I never prepare it the same every single time, especially not in the beginning stages. In later stages, I'm getting to the point where now I'm using a file. I'm doing more regularization of all the surfaces to get it to where it's practically exactly the same here, 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 all the way down the edge. So I'm getting more into getting it exactly the same for every flake removal. But what does that do to me, everybody? It drives me nuts. So I like the opportunistic flaking. Yeah. Why are you not getting long flakes the way I do it? Well, you may not be able to do opportunistic napping. Yeah. That's one reason why you're not getting long flakes. You may not be able to do the opportunistic napping. It may be that the only napping you're able to do is the contrived style, where everything has to be exactly the same every single time. Now, I should add that to the list and make another video. Yeah. See, I get good flakes and I get bad flakes because I hit different surfaces opportunistically and not with the same forces, not with the same angles. I just, whatever seems good enough, especially at this stage where I don't care too much. I start caring a lot more at the final stages, but I pace myself because I don't like getting too particular. Yeah, if I particularize it too much, it drives me nuts. Yeah. And what does that do to my flint napping when it starts driving me nuts? It makes me not want to flint nap. It makes me go, okay, I'm done for today. This is not making me happy. It's not giving me peace. I'm not finding any satisfaction in doing it. The journey is leading to dark places. That's why I stop many times. It's because something's driving me nuts. Anyway. today there has been no dark places, so don't worry. Yeah. I'm over that anyway. I just won't do it. If it's starting to go south, that's it. I'm not doing that project. I got to inform the person. If I'm doing it for somebody, a project for somebody, and it's not going well, I'll just tell them it's not going well. Yeah. Luckily, that's not happened in a long time. And I'm not agreeing to any project that I don't like. So, it should not happen at all anymore. But there was a time where I took on challenges that I knew were going to drive me nuts. I took them on anyway. And sure enough, I ended up in dark places. Yeah. Take a wrong turn and go down. Find yourself on an abandoned dirt road. And then all of a sudden you see the sign dead end. Oh, dang. Yeah. That happens in Flintknapping. What has all this got to do with not getting long flakes? Well, I was going to get into more of the you're not able to do opportunistic napping. But sometimes you are able to do opportunistic napping just like this, and you're not getting enough. You're not getting long flakes because you just don't have enough practice, or something obvious, you know, something on the list of stupid napping that you just missed, you know. A lot of guys are napping into concavities. What's a concavity? It's a dip. You're napping into a dip. A dip is a flake trap. Yeah. You're getting your flakes trapped in these dips. Yeah. Can't be doing that. So if you look for opportunities, make sure the opportunities do not have a flake trap. Many times they do. Looks like a good edge to hit on, but there's a dip. Just like the road sign says, there's a little trap. It's a diamond shape, right? It says dip in the middle, DIP. Don't intentionally proceed. No, that's not what it means. Anyway. Yeah. This is actually excellent stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm going to save some of these for little bitty arrowheads. Yeah. I'm going to be doing some little bitties. One person asked for more little bitties, so I'm going to do little bitties. Yep. Where is my little bitty spots? Oh, I stuck it somewhere behind me. I cannot reach behind me because it ruins my shoulder. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. I'm putting all my rocks behind me so that I have my front clear, because I used to have all my rocks in front. Yeah, so I can just grab one, but now I put them behind me so that they won't get contaminated with a bunch of flakes that fly in, blah blah blah. But it reminded me that I can't be doing that. So now I gotta think of what else to do. And what I came up with kind of a solution. It just, at the beginning of the week, just put everything in little bins, right? But then, what about the debitage that results from my Flintknapping when I'm doing my videos and stuff during the week? I gotta store those away. I'm gonna get all mixed up if I don't have a plan to store my video napping stuff. Because my video napping stuff is all chaotic. It's mainly the stuff that I get requested to do, so it's all over the place. So I could have a bunch of heat treats behind me that I'm doing for my auction, And then someone requests, can you do tempered glass? So now I gotta find some tempered glass and have that available. And you know, save some of the flakes that come off when I'm doing the tempered glass video, because I have TV glass that's tempered. I've got glass that was used for light covers, you know, for lighting. That's tempered in many cases. There's plates, glass plates. I think I have a glass plate, or I can just pick one up at Walmart for a few bucks. That's tempered glass. What am I going to do with the tempered glass little flakes? Throw them all away? I don't think so. That kind of thing. So now I have another little tray. I gotta store somewhere in my stuff. Messes me up. Yeah. I have a hard enough time getting organized. So I end up throwing by accident some of the tempered glass. Well, not by accident, but I'm thinking I can throw this in with my obsidian because it doesn't look like obsidian. I won't get it mixed up, and I'll remember it's in here. Yeah, no problem. I used to do that kind of stuff, and as I was looking through my obsidian, I found that bottle glass, the one I just showed you. This stuff. This was in with my obsidian, and I was gonna knap this years ago. See how it's kind of reddish brownish, but it's an unusually dark glass. That's cool. So I must have thrown it in with my obsidian and forgot all about it because I didn't want to have a separate bin for it. And I forgot all about it. Luckily, that was not someone's request or not someone's shipment that they sent to me. They didn't. That glass was not sent to me. I found it on the property when I bought my house. There was some glass bottles in the back that I guess the previous owner was saving, and they didn't take them with them. They just left it in the shed. So I said, cool, some of these bottles can be napped. Later on, I didn't start napping right when I moved in to the house. Right away, I didn't start. I was kind of piddling with flint napping, but I didn't do it seriously until a little bit after we moved in. And that's when I said, yeah, these bottles. Cool. Yeah, so I don't know. How long ago was that? I probably had that bottle glass since 2010. Yeah, I've had this. I think I've had this since 2010. I don't want that to happen anymore with my stuff. Nope. Okay. I'm trying to organize it. I don't know what I'm going to make. No. Somebody wanted me to do Lost Lake or Hardin. I don't like those. Do I like those? I like to look at them. Yeah, they're cool. But it's the notching in the stems I don't like because I don't get those stems correct. It's probably why he wants me to do one, because he can't get the stems correct either. You gotta do bunches and bunches of those to get the stems correct. And the notching correct. And some people can't even do notching. They go, I can't even do the notching. How am I supposed to get results on the points I like? Just pick a point that's easier. Yeah. Pick an Angostura. Or a Hell's Gap. Yeah. Easy peasy. I don't like them. I like only the ones with large notches. Long notches. Yeah, I know. I get it. You like the stuff you can't have. funny. The human brain acts weird like that. Hold on a second. I'm going to fix something. Anyway, let's see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. I gotta do more on the video series why you're not getting long flakes. Yeah. I gotta do more of that. I already figured out like 2 more things. This is not working. I'm trying to clean the ink off my hand. The pen I got, I thought it was... Usually it's a Sharpie that won't come off, but this pen won't come off. Crystal. Yeah, with this pen, it won't come off. Look, hold on. It's bugging me. I don't want to see it. I gotta take a little pause here. Usually I have some hand sanitizer available behind me, but I don't see it. I moved it. Oh. The worst thing for an ADHD person or an autistic person is when you move stuff. Yeah. I should know better than to move stuff around. I can't find it. Hand sanitizer usually takes that right off. Okay. I was using acetone. Usually acetone works good too, but it just evaporates so darn fast that I wasn't able to get it to work. Anyway, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the pressure flake. There it is. Okay, I moved the pressure flaker. Yeah. Let me get my tools within reach. Yeah, okay. How many minutes did I waste? I wasted a lot of minutes there. Yeah. I get the question a lot now, what is regularization? What do you mean when you say you regularize? What is it? It's the opposite of chaos-size. Yeah. Regularize is the opposite of chaos-size. Yeah. I'm so stupid. It means make it more regular. I don't know. Smoother, straighter, flatter, more consistent. You know, regular. Why do you want to do that? What's the purpose of doing it? Well, the main purpose, the reason why I do it now, there's 2 main reasons. One, because people have asked me to do it, because that's the way they nap. They want to see if they're missing anything. If they're missing how to do it, you know, they're doing it, but they're not sure if they're missing something that would make it better. Or they get a different perspective on what regularizing means. Does regularizing mean exactly flat, or what are you trying to expose areas that are lumpy? Because once you straighten the edge out, you can kind of see where the problems are. Is that why you regularize? Yes, that's one reason. The first reason was, you know, people ask me to do it, and then because they don't ask directly, they go, "Why don't you make it straight or flat?" Well, because I don't regularize. So now I started to do it, and then they go, "But why do you do it now?" It makes me a better flint napper, okay? Yeah. That's it. No, a better flint napper is somebody that uses antlers. I cannot win. No. You know what? You know what? I don't even try to win anymore on the internet or in the comment section. I don't even try to win. You think I'm acting stupid? I'm going to go, you're right. Yeah. You're exactly right. I am. I get it. Really? You say that? Actually, I don't say that too often because people don't tell me that often. They're nice. Yeah. My subscribers and my viewers are nice. I don't get a chance to exercise my tolerance because I don't have to. They're nice. It's so easy to talk with nice people. Yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I gotta regularize the other side. This side. See how non-straight it is? And see how much more straighter this is? Much more straighter? Yeah. See how much more straighter? It's not that straight. I can see lumps now that I need to tackle. Here, I see lumps I need to tackle, but I don't see the best opportunity along the edge. So what I do is I just trim it all and make it flatter, more consistent, straighter, and cleaner. And try to get some defects out. I messed that up earlier with a crush. I crushed that edge earlier. Yeah. When you crush an edge, sometimes it messes everything up. And you get these incipient cracks. And yes, you get those with hammerstones too. And antlers. It's a common occurrence with everything. Crushing the edge. It's not just with steel. Yeah. Or it's not just with metal tools. When am I going to start doing videos with natural tools? When? That's what you're asking. Some of you guys. A lot of you guys don't care. Some of you guys go, what's natural material? Do you find that material at the health food store? What are you talking about? Yeah. Holistic napping. Yeah. You find the natural materials for napping at the health food store. Yeah. From your local holistic practitioner. Yeah. All natural. Really? No. I still can't get over the common questions that people ask Rock when they already know the answer. Yeah. And I just did a fact check in one of my comment sections. The first one I ever did. This first one I've ever done, that I didn't do the research. I left it up to Grok this time to fact check one of the replies from someone who said a bunch of stuff that I wasn't quite sure that it was correct. So instead of doing my own research, I just typed it into Grok and said, what are the inconsistencies or inaccuracies, if any, in the following statements, because it was a long post. Several. Ooh, several? Ouch. I don't know if I should post it because he might get offended. But in the interest of education, I posted it. Not because I have anything against the guy that commented. I like comments, whether they're inaccurate or not. Doesn't matter to me, but I had to check it. I had to do it. No, nothing personal at all. No, it's not bad. Anyway, I got onto that because I'm so amazed by the questions that people ask Grok that they already know the answer to. Yeah. What I think is happening is they just don't want to miss anything. They either, well, there's two reasons that I can think of right off top. They either don't want to miss something obvious, or they want confirmation for what they thought it was. And they'll say to the AI, "Oh yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure." Yeah. So I think those are the two main motivations to ask a question that you already know the answer to. You don't want to miss something obvious, just in case, and you want confirmation that you are correct. Yeah. Okay, I get it, but it's still funny. It's still ridiculous. I can't help it. I laugh at that. When I'm on the internet, I don't laugh. Sometimes I do laugh when I'm looking at stuff, especially some of my favorite Instagrammers. Yeah, I got favorite Instagrammers, like the guy from Latvia. If you want to know who the guy from Latvia is, just leave me a comment and I'll give you a link. The guy is freaking hilarious. Anyway, I laugh when I see my favorite stuff from my favorite Instagrammers. Instagrammers seem to be a lot funnier than YouTubers. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're more psycho. I don't know. But anyway. Yeah. It cheers me up. I was reading a study, well, not reading, but listening to a podcast where someone was talking about the negative effects of the internet. Just don't look at the negative stuff. There's lots of funny stuff. Yeah. Don't look at the negative stuff. I mean, maybe you don't know where to find the funny stuff. Maybe you are already depressed and you don't like the funny stuff. No, you think it's stupid. Or you sit there and you watch the internet with the same face all the time. Stone face internet watcher. Doesn't matter how sad or happy, how terrible, how tragic, or how hilarious it is. This is always the same stone face. I know that's how I was when I was depressed, watching the internet. And I could be typing, "Oh, that was so funny, LOL." Because I used to use those things in the beginning. LOL. Alright, R-A. Oh, let's see. Raffle. R-O-F-L. I used to type those in too in the beginning when I was on the internet. But I wouldn't be like laughing or rolling on the floor laughing or laughing out loud. I just type in LOL and I had that stone face. That was funny, LOL. What else you got for me? Oh, cool. Yeah. Nice. Da 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 da. Everything was on my face. It looked like I was typing nothing but monotone stuff. Now, if you're in that position, I would suggest looking at stuff that is a little more beneficial. I used to try to find arguments. Actively seek arguments on the internet. So I could fight, like a fight club. Because there is a large crowd of people on the internet that are basically fight club. Yeah. So you can get on there and fight with them. But it ruins your day. You might say, well, you're already depressed. How can you ruin a day that's already ruined? Well, you ruined it more. It's more ruinder. Anyways, yeah, I think everyone goes through that phase when they get on the internet. They look and they see, oh, that's stupid. I gotta comment. I have to comment. And you end up getting into fights. And you end up feeling terrible that you got into a fight on the internet. Yeah. But then the next day, same old, same old. It becomes a cycle. I know. You guys don't experience that because you've already found your little niche or niche. You like watching videos like this because they're relaxing. They generate some inner peace or something. Even though you're not napping. I'm napping. I'm generating an inner peace. I'm in contact with the stone. And you are living vicariously through my napping and also obtaining inner peace by working the stone or watching the stone being worked. Yeah, it's cool. It's good. But some people, they get on here and they go, this is the weird side of YouTube, man. I don't know. I want to go over to Fight Club again. Yeah. All right. You're not ready. You can't handle the truth. Yeah. All right. What am I going to do? See, I'm starting to crush the edge. What does that mean? That means I'm reaching the limit of my ability to thin this particular piece. I think it's a raw piece of chert. It's Edwards Plateau chert. It seems like it was Georgetownish, but it's not. It's one of those high quality raw pieces that is finicky once it starts getting thin. At least with me. Some guys can nap this all day long and not have an issue and they think it's wonderful. With me, I start hitting a wall. And it's right about now that a lot of my success is dependent on luck with this stuff. Yeah, see that? It's supposed to go further. I hit into a high spot, but it didn't work. I mean, it didn't go far enough. So yeah, I'm gonna stop thinning it. That's how you know when to stop. Some guys say, I don't want to reach the point where I got a step fracture like that, and that's what tells me to stop. I want to stop before I get that. Yeah. If you figure that out, you let me know. Yeah. If you can figure that out, please let me know. Let me know when you know, or there's a way to find out, a way to judge that you are going to mess up if you hit there. Yeah. Dang it. But see, back in the day, they didn't care about those. So it wasn't no big deal. But when I'm doing a video, people want to see how to avoid those because they not only have three little mistakes. They got 14, 15, 18, 30 mistakes on their piece. Yeah. They wish they only had 3. And I was in that boat. It's not a mistake. It looks beautiful compared to mine because I've got like 40 little steps everywhere. Every flake. Yeah. I know, I've been there. Okay. Golly, that will not pop out of there. Let's see. I got a lot of experience on popping those out now that I'm using the spatula tool to do it more often these days. I used to try to nap those out without popping them out, but I'm trying to use the spatula tool more often now, but it's not working. Look at all those metal marks. So that means I got to narrow it down. Ah, there it goes. But it dived. So now it still looks cruddy. Yeah, something happened there. I guess when I was pushing that way, it was leaving incipient cracks in there. It still looks cruddy. That piece started out pretty big too. Yeah. What am I going to do? Somebody wanted a stemmed point. If I make this more narrow, I can do a stemmed point. Yeah. All right, hold on. I got to take my jacket off because this is the sweat stage. See, I got a heavy jacket on. When I get in the shop, it's freezing cold, and then the heater warms everything up. And it's still not that warm, right? It's still, what is it? It's like 57 degrees in here. But then when I start reaching the sweat stage, it feels like it's 150 something degrees. Yeah. All right, so what I'm going to do is regularize it again, and then proceed more carefully on the next round. Yeah. Okay. And you pop off all those sticking out parts. Some call them deltas. I don't know. I never understood why it was called a delta. They don't all look like the triangular shape. They look like every shape you can imagine. I just call them sticking out parts. Yep. Just nap down all the sticking out parts. Some of them are harder to nap off than others. You can tell even before you start pushing them off, they're going to be hard to nap off. So you already know. More pressure as you develop practice. Okay. See, and I'm going to try to see on this material. Step fractures show up very well. Yeah, you can see it because it just looks like blaring, very light colored error. Yeah, it shows the mistakes very well, which is not something you go yay. No, it's something that you say, ah, man, sometimes I wish I had buckets of this stuff, and then other times I wish I'd never seen it before. Let me do the stem. Oh, shoot. I don't know if on a stemmed point like this, I don't know if they did the stem last or first. Why does it matter? Because the way they used to do it is a lot of times the most efficient way. Believe it or not. Sometimes it isn't. The way they used to do it back in the past is not the most efficient way, but sometimes, well, I would say probably most of the time it's the most efficient way, the way they used to do it. But you know, that's not always the case. That, you know, they're just like us. Nothing better, nothing worse. You might say, well, what about democracy? You don't think Native Americans had democracy? Yeah. Well, you gotta do a little bit more research. You gotta ask to fact check that one. Yep. Get that one fact checked. I'm not saying that everybody back in the day understood democratic ideas, but it wasn't absent. Yeah. Okay, let's see. So on this stem, I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to be. Yeah, this is definitely raw. What is raw? Raw is stone that has not been heat treated. Why do I even mention that when heat treatment is so rare and such an unusual thing? Believe it or not, it was not rare, and it's not an unusual thing. It's been around for quite some time. And whenever rock was not, quote unquote, easy to knap, they heat treated it so it would be easier. Yes. So that's why I say it's raw, because it has not been heat treated. Makes a difference. Some guys like only raw stuff. Okay, fine. I'm not talking to you. You have a bias toward only raw? Okay, fine. I'm not talking to you. See if it did it. Ha ha ha. See, that's luck. Whenever I do that and it's successful, that should cue you in to, yep, that was a lucky shot. That should be your cue. That should be your signal. If I go, did it do it? It didn't do it. Let's see. If it does it, did I ask, did it do it? It's luck. Did it do it? Did it do it? Oh, yeah. Why did I do these strikes? To thin it down right there. Yeah, why do I want to thin it down right there? Because it makes doing the stem a little easier. See, if it's thinner there and I end up having a hard time pushing a flake into the area, at least it's thin, right? So what happens is, how do I say? It's not going to be, I should probably say flatter. If it's lumpy and I try to do a flake, it's much harder than if it's flatter and I try to do a flake. And flattening it has the consequence of getting it thinner. So I should probably say flattening it rather than thinning it. But thinning it is a consequence of flattening. So it's the same, basically the same thing. But it might confuse somebody. It's not really, the object really isn't to thin it there, it's to flatten it there so it would be easier to make correct mistakes later. Because I'm trying to be careful on the stem. It's probably already too thin. Yeah. For a reasonable replica. I don't think a lot of these stemmed points were that thin, but they might have been. I'm doing it just to flatten it out and to get rid of lumps that I don't like. And get rid of contours, like if it's too flakery and too chattery. I like putting bold flakes into that area to get it smoother. Yeah, if it's too flakery or chattery, I know those are not conventional flint knapping terms, but you know what I mean. I like to send in some bold flakes. Yeah. Okay, I think I can do the stem now without having to worry too much. Yeah, I can hear the sleet on the roof of the shop. It was snowing a little while ago. I don't know why it started sleeting again. Actually, I do know why it starts to sleet again, because the temperature goes up. Up and down. Temperature's been going up and down. I made that stem too long. Anyways. I'm doing this from memory. I can look in my book. I can look in the Overstreet guide. They got a bunch of stemmed points in there. And their actual size, too. And the guy that asked me to do a stemmed point probably said, or saying to himself, I can't get it that thin, so I can't copy what you're doing. Yeah. It's actually, when you've had a lot of experience in flint knapping, you just get into the habit of thinning it as much as possible. It's actually more difficult to intentionally keep it thick than it is to thin it down. After a while. Yeah. Believe it or not. Ouch. Look at that. It's not supposed to do that. Did I grind it or not? Did you see it? Did I miss the grinding part? That's what happens when you don't grind it. You just crush it and step fracture it. Maybe I did grind it. This edge is hard to flake once it's ground too much. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there slowly. Slowly, slowly. I don't know. What am I doing? I'm just looking to see where it needs to be flattened. I'm going to try to make the stem as smooth as possible with nice fancy non-stippy flakes. They don't have to be perfectly parallel to each other, just no step fractures on the stem. That's the thing. No stem fractures on the stem. No excuses. Because it's just all pressure flake. And you can control pressure flakes pretty well. Maybe not perfectly well, but it's relatively simple to control the pressure flaking. If you compare the different types of flaking, I think everyone will agree that pressure flaking is the easiest to control in all aspects. From the beginning of flake to the middle to the end, the pressure flaking is the easiest to control. It's just not very powerful in terms of removing a lot of mass all at once, which you need to do to get these big old bold flakes. Now you might say, well, isn't that a signature? The pressure flaking tool produces a certain kind of flake, so you know it was pressure flaked. Yeah, in the general sense it is, but you don't know specifics. You don't know what kind of pressure tool. You may be able to say, yeah, that's a pressure tool, but what kind of pressure tool? And what kind of pressure? Is it active pressure or passive pressure? Or is it aggressive? It's either aggressive, active, which is the same thing, or passive pressure. Is it a pressure with bone, an antler, with another piece of stone? You don't know the specifics. So you can't say that you know how they did it if you don't know the specifics. If you say in general they use pressure, okay, fine, but no one says it that way. If they're claiming to know how it's done, they don't say in general, or the probability is blah blah blah, or the likelihood is, the likelihood is they use pressure blah blah blah. They don't say likelihood, they say it was done with blah blah blah. You don't know. You can't say it was done with, because the signature implies a certain tool, certain technique, and there's no such thing. You cannot assume or make a statement that it was a certain tool and a certain technique. It might look that way, but you don't know for certain. You cannot say that that's what it is. And you might say, well, what if I'm right? My answer is, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah. You got, so in some cases, your best chance of being right is 50-50. And you'll be right half the time. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you're right when you say you're right. Nope. Okay. Why is 50-50 the best chance you got to be right? Because in my experience, I have found that there's at least 2 significantly different ways to produce the same flake. And I've used different materials. I've used different techniques. I've used different attitudes. I've used different mentalities over time. I can tell you, I can make the same flakes with significantly different methods. What is a significantly different method? Any method that differs enough from another method that there is a learning curve to use the other method. If there is a time where you have to learn how to do it, like you have to adjust to doing it that way, that's a significantly different method. There's at least 2 different, significantly different methods to create the same exact flake. Okay? All right. And there's also the issue, you don't know if the same napper actually did the work on that one piece. Could be two nappers. Could be two nappers. One does one stage, one does the other. Or it could be two nappers working on the piece at the same time. Like one napper will hold a piece and the other napper does the flaking. Because I can hold this for someone else and the other person can use vertical percussion on the edges. I can be holding this for someone else. So that means two people can make one piece at the same time. They're both working on it and produce it. It's not only a solo game. Yeah. Now, I thought by now I would be able to show two people working on one piece, but I still haven't got to the point where I can train someone to do the work. Eventually, I will be able to train an assistant. Oh, dang, those are big hailstones, big sleet stones, or whatever it's called. Anyway, you don't know. And two people working on the piece, you know, one doing the percussion and one doing the holding, produce the same exact flakes as someone doing it by himself. Yeah. As an example. So there you go. You don't know. You don't know. All right. I have to go through that every now and then because there's lots of new guys to the channel, and they may have been indoctrinated by a different channel. I have to unindoctrinate you. Yeah. Don't become indoctrinated by a what do you call a agenda? No, that's not the word. A rhetoric? No, that's not the word. Narrative. Don't nap to the narrative. And don't be drawn in by a narrative. Yeah. The narrative might be correct, but if we're looking at how did they do it, looking at ways to figure out how they used to do it, don't be taken in by a narrative. Yeah. Just explore the different ways. That's it. It's already an hour. I didn't finish the stem yet either. I got distracted and started doing the tip. Because I saw the tip really bad. I saw the tip looked really bad. It's too much on this side. It has too much mass on that side. And this is a wood-backed leather pad, wood and leather domed pad. It's domed. It's not perfectly flat. It might look that way, but it's got some dome to it. It's got some dome. It's got something on the dome. That's what they used to say. Yeah. Oh, the snow slid off my roof. You hear that? So now I know the snow is accumulating. Yes, yes. It slid off my roof because I got the space heater on. Yep. It'll be fun in the morning when I wake up to see what the damage is. How much this storm is dumping. Luckily there's no wind right now, but they say the wind's going to pick up tomorrow. Oh joy. But like I said, I'm already stocked up. I don't need to go nowhere. And you know what? If I do need to go somewhere, it's just down the street. Yeah, 5 minutes. Well, 10 minutes. Wow. 10 minutes. It makes me happy. Yeah, I can go to the store. If we get snowed in and there's like 5 feet of snow in front of the door, I just climb out the window and go to the store. It's 10 minutes away. I'll just, I don't know, trudge through the snow. How bad can it be? Half a mile. Yeah, but you see, there might be power outages. Yep, that's the only fear around here, is the power outages. Because then the temperature could go down in your house very fast. But luckily it's not going to get below 30 tonight, as far as I know. It's going to hover right around the freezing mark, just enough for snow. Yep. Anyway, I need to pay closer attention to my pressure flaking so I can clean up these surfaces. They're not getting all that clean though. What does it clean mean? You know, no steps, no step fracturing, no crushing, no extra flakeration. I don't want it to look too flakery. And I don't want lumps. I want it nicely tapered. Nicely tapered. Yeah, I'm losing some off the tip because I'm gonna have to push some flakes off the tip, I think, eventually, because I'm not able to get enough flattening from the sides. Let's see. Should I take one from the tip? Do I need to? I shouldn't need to. I should be able to dress this edge enough to get that mess out of there by pushing a flake into there. Either I tried from this side, but I think that one was too short and that one didn't catch it. I mean, I couldn't catch it with that one. It would have to be this one, but I think it didn't do anything when I did it. So I'm going to have to go here somewhere and then take another one there. Let's do this one first. I'm going to lose a lot off that edge. Dang it. I still didn't do it right, but it got close. Why am I doing it from this side? Because from that side, it violates one of the rules. Don't nap into a step fracture. Did that do it that time? See, if you get the step fracture from the side, a lot of times it'll work. Yeah. All right, that worked. It worked well enough. Not perfectly, but it worked well enough. Yeah, this stuff, when it gets thin, it gets finicky. So I gotta make sure I prepare the edges well. Still a little bit opportunistic here. Yeah, okay. Good enough. Now I can just clean it up. Clean up the edges. I don't need to clean up the surface. I just finished cleaning up the surface. The only surface defect that's left is that one there, which is pretty bad, but I don't know. It might not be impossible. I've got dips on either side, so it might be impossible. Yeah. The only clear shot that I think I got is through here. And that would be the ending of the flake that would have to take that out, which is the most unpredictable part of the flake, so I would need a lot of luck. I could come in from the corner here, shoot in there, but it's going to contribute to the step fracture there. If I shoot in from here, it can probably get rid of some of this, but it'll stop right there. The best bet is to get it really narrow and then shoot a flake in from here, but I don't want it narrow. So that's all. That option is out. That's not an option. What am I doing? Now normally these stemmed points are probably very well made to fit in prefabricated foreshafts of the same width. So it's even harder to make them like they used to make them than I'm doing right now. If it's true that they used to have prefabricated foreshafts that they would fit these into, not only do you have to thin this well, but you've got to match an exact size, which is twice as hard. Now, I don't know if they actually did it that way, and it didn't matter how wide it was, if it stuck out beyond the wood, or it was not sticking out at all, or it matched perfectly, it didn't matter too much. I think that they would match it perfectly to the width of the foreshaft. But I don't know. That's just me. So it's doubly hard that way. Dang it. What did I do? I wanted to get a flake to go that far. It did go that far, but it stopped. I don't want any step fractures on the stem. And I want the stem to be nice and even all the way around. I'm just going to have to live with it. I wanted that flake to be longer. Can you see? No? Of course not. I'm going to go get an entirely new phone. I'm getting tired of this one. I'm getting tired of this. It'll focus on everything else except where I'm napping. You can see my fingernail perfectly, but not the edge. You can see my hand in the pad perfectly, but not the edge. It's driving me completely insane. And a lot of these flake removals, everything is visible except what you need to see. So I'm going to go down and get another phone. Yeah. Whole new phone. Besides, this one has been terrible from the beginning. It's a non-cooperative little POS. Yeah. It slows down for no reason too. It's not the Wi-Fi or the internet. It's the darn phone. Someone spying on me? Somebody might say, aha. If your phone starts slowing down for no reason, someone's listening. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Talking about weapons and stuff. These things can be used to kill. Yeah. Keel, you know, like the thing on a boat that guides it. It's the keel. Yeah, leave me alone. I wish. Okay. See, it's the stem is not doesn't have pretty flaking on it, but you know what? I don't care. I would have to do bunches of these. Yeah. Bunches. Let's see. I don't like that. Now I have a couple of these, I think real ones. Cody complex stems. I have a couple real ones. And they're perfect. These stems are perfectly made, which means they must have made a bunch to get that good at it. Yeah, if you ever looked at the Cody complex stuff, it's not all perfect. Some of it can be a little crude, but for the most part, it's very regular, very well planned out and everything. Executed. The Flintknapping is well executed and obviously planned and contrived. Yeah. Does it make it stronger that way? I don't know, maybe. It doesn't compare to making it thicker. Thicker is much stronger than thin and well planned. Maybe they want it to be as strong as possible with the most possible thinness as well. Both, you know? The favorite narrative these days is you don't need one or the other, you can have both. Yeah, both. It's a funny word, both. Yeah, they wanted thinness and durability. So maybe that's why it was so perfect. What am I doing? Well, I'm attempting to get some symmetry, or setting it up to where I can flake it into a symmetrical shape. I wanted to get that stem evened out from the side view. Anyway, I gotta wrap this up. My dad's probably in there getting ready for bed, and he takes forever unless I help him out. Oh, come on. All right. See, I dropped it on the pile, and I broke the tip off. I forgot to do this cleanup, and it's not just a little ritual, it's necessary. See how I broke the tip? You gotta do it. You gotta clean up the area. Why it dropped on the tip instead of the base? It's my luck. Yeah. I've got both very good and very bad luck at the same time. That's good enough for this stem. I'm getting burnt out on this. Alright. You might say, why did you drop it in the first place? Why? You forget that I'm doing a video and I got to look through the viewfinder. And when I do that, my brain sees my hands differently, so it doesn't grip right. But you don't know that because you're not making a video. You're just watching it. Yeah, the edge on the stem has to be perfectly aligned, because that's the way they used to do it. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to grind the stem, and if it's not perfectly aligned when you grind it, it gets all wonky again. I got to take it down with the flaker a little bit before I grind it, to get all the weak spots off and to make sure everything's nice and regular. Now, some of these Cody points, some of the archaeologists say that if there's no shoulder on it, and it looks like it's just continuous, and there's barely a difference in the shoulder on the stem, they think that the grinding is what installed the stem. What they don't realize is some of these are resharpened down to the width of the stem. Okay, they don't realize that sometimes they resharpen it down to the width. And it's not the grinding that installs the stem. In some cases they may be right, but you can't just generalize and say the stem was installed by scraping or abrading or whatever. I don't see any clear pathway to get that mess out of there. Take a risk. Dang it. Too much of a risk. I don't know what I did. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. And if I was using this myself, I would just wait until I resharpen it a few times if I was really picky about getting that out of the middle there. Yeah, whenever there's junk in the middle, it's also harder to resharpen properly because you might get a step fracture that doesn't thin the piece well and it leaves weak spots. See, if it's thick in one spot and thin in another, that thin spot, even though it's not that thin, is weaker. It's weakened by having that thick spot next to it, because when it makes impact or bends, it'll snap right next to a hard spot where it's like right there. It'll snap there because there's a little harder spot there than there and there. It'll snap right there. So if I flatten it out, it does get stronger in that respect. And if there's crunchiness, it can't be flattened down, so it presents a weak spot next to it. That's one reason to get these nice and flat, because of the resharpening. Yeah, and I could take it back a lot and then shoot a flake. I can see where I am able to shoot a flake there and then remove all that. But it takes removing a lot of this edge to get there, so I'm not going to do it. Yeah, we'll just chalk this up to practice. A lot of these Cody points have regular flaking. Very regular pattern flaking. Yeah. Alright. There's an hour and 30 minutes. That's good enough. I'm going to go inside. Yep. That's it for this one. Alrighty, there you go.